welcome back, Apsolut team. We're going to run through the demos of the solutions now. So, Gerrit, why don't you talk us through the two demos that you're going to cover, and then let's just dive straight in.
Yes, sure. Thanks, Mo. So today's demo will be divided into two different sessions. The first session is the Supplier Performance Dashboard, which has already been introduced in the first session. So this is the system to generate a holistic 360-degree view. And since we know that performance management is a big topic at the moment, we will have a second demo on the Qualtrics system where we've set up a process for supplier performance evaluation, which will be the second part of this demo. And the good thing is that both can be connected. So we can use on the one hand Qualtrics to monitor supplier performance, and on the one hand have the results shown in the supplier performance dashboard.
Awesome, brilliant.
So as mentioned, I would like to start with the supplier performance evaluation dashboard, which you can see over here. The supplier performance dashboard is based on SAP Analytics Cloud, which is SAP's preferred solution when it comes to BW interfaces. And it has been invented together with our partner IB Solution, who took over their SAC part. And it's important to know that this is a best practice dashboard. So this means that we've collected during several workshops in the last years important KPIs, which we think are the most relevant ones. So those are the ones you can see over here. But it has to be mentioned that it's very easy to adapt this to customer specific needs. So this is not a dashboard which needs to be implemented one by one, but is a proposal of best practices, which of course can be used. As already mentioned, the biggest benefit is that SAP Analytics Cloud can be connected to nearly every SAP and non-SAP system. And we use this benefit to set up a supplier performance dashboard for collecting and showing multiple data. As you can see at the very top, we have one supplier for which this dashboard is shown. And based on the filter, of course, you can jump into different suppliers. Every data or every type of data is shown in a separate column, and I will start with the column on the very left-hand side. You can see, so this is supplier data, which usually comes from an S4 system where the master data is stored, and we've added a NESRI card to show the headquarters of the location of the headquarters of this supplier. And in the second column, there is spend data shown. So you can see the overall spend for this supplier in year 2021, the price development, which is calculated based on a customer-specific formula, and there's a metrics behind it to have a scoring of this price development.
And what does that mean? In what context does that have? So when you say price development of 84 points, is that what is the thinking behind it? What does it show?
So there's a comparison between the savings target and the actual savings which have been implemented or which have been reached, and based on this difference, there is a formula in the backend which calculates then a scoring.
Okay.
As you can see over here in the box in the middle, there's also spend by product group, and one of the major benefits is that you can also drill down when it comes to spend. So you can, for example, click on that one, and then you will see further details. So let me choose, for example, the spend for cycles and press this button, and it will directly then generate the spend based on quarters. And this is, as already mentioned, highly adaptable. So you can have,
which oh, my brain's gone. UNSPSC, etc. Can you use different product group types?
Yes, this is depending on your customer specific product groups which you have set up. Of course, you can use UNSPSCs. But there's also a way to have customer-specific groups shown for sure.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
On the bottom, you can see the spend for the year 2020, and you can see here that only the top spend per month is shown, which means that December had the most of the spend in the year 2021. And if you want to see, for example, not only the top 5, but all the spend, it's quite easy to remove criteria, and then you will directly see everything according to your needs. So you will see here, for example, the spend for January and so on. And you can also take some comparisons, as you can see over here. So the spend from January in comparison to February decreased by 11.36%. So there's a lot of ways to check the spend based on the supplier and to report based on various criteria. So this is the topic regarding the spend.
Mm-hmm.
Then another important fact is, or are the hard facts, which you can see in the third column in this dashboard. And here we have 3 key performance indicators. The first one means on time in full, so OTIF, and it shows based on a customer-specific scoring how many parts are delivered on time, so OT, and how many parts are delivered in full. And based on the these measurements, there is customer-specific mapping behind. So the scoring in 2020 was only 70. So we always have the range between 0 and 100 to be able to compare ratings. Mm-hmm. And as you can see here, the supplier performed not very good in 2020, but much better in 2019. And here we also have the possibility to drill down to gain some more insights. So I just click on this bar, for example, press jump to OTIF rate, and then we will have a new screen available which shows more detailed data, and you are able to select criteria to have specific data shown. For example, if you want to have only the plant Hamburg shown, just check this flag, and the rates will update accordingly. You can also tell the system to show only the rates for the year 2020 and select dedicated product groups, whatever you prefer. So this is quite easy to check and to go into detail.
Great.
Okay. There's one last key performance indicator which I would like to mention besides the complaint rate. This is the PPM rate. So the PPM rate means how many parts in a million have or are defect. And again, there is customer-specific tables behind it. So this means that a higher rate of defect parts will lead to a lower rate of this number.
Sure.
And here we have also the possibility to drill down. So you go on to jump to PPM rate, and you have exactly the same possibilities. This is also highly adaptable to customer-specific needs. You can also do here this comparison to generate the percentages to prepare for a supplier discussion, for example.
Yeah, so that just gives you the ability to track the performance and then call it out using hard facts and data very easily. Yeah.
Yes.
What about complaint rate? You've got complaint rate at the bottom. That one's
yes.
always an interesting one.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
The complaint rate is based on the complaints which are received from this supplier, and of course, the higher the number of complaints based on the PO numbers, the lower the rate will be.
And how is that captured? Just so that again, it's complaints and where is that data captured from?
This is captured from S4. So you have, of course, a number of POs, which is usually available in an S4 system. And then you have the number of QA issues which have been raised in the backend. Okay. And then you can easily calculate this scoring.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So one thing which is, of course, the most important one is that hard facts always relate to real numbers, right? So there's always some transaction behind it which can be used. On the other hand, one thing we see at our customers is that soft facts become increasingly important in addition. So the difference here is that we send out surveys to internal appraisers to ask them about, for example, the communication of this supplier. So, for example, how flexible is the supplier when it comes to changes in delivery date, or how is the research and development department doing when it comes to new specifications, or is the supplier eager to deliver new parts? How does the supplier handle complaints and so on? So those are answers, or those are topics
User
which
community. User community information.
Exactly, yeah. So usually you have surveys and answers, and those answers have some scorings in the background, and based on the answers, you have a score calculated. But yeah, this is just the final step, let's say. So at the very beginning, it's only qualitative data and no real numbers. And we transfer them into numbers. And the good thing is that you have here both in place. So on the one hand, the soft facts, which is usually captured in another system. And on the other hand, the hard facts, which are usually captured in a BW system or in an ERP or S4 system. And we have everything in one place, as you can see over here. So this is the difference. And coming to the soft facts, I will show you also later on in the Qualtrics system how those are captured, just to give you a teaser that this will be part of the second demo. Last but not least, there is also third-party data, which is shown over here. So there are third-party data provider which can be connected. For example, we have here connected Integrity Next to have additional data shown. For example, how is the supplier dealing when it comes to the global pandemic, or how does the supplier avoid child labor and so on. So there are several ways to connect also external data sources to this supply performance dashboard.
So it's a sustainability measure. Okay.
It can be a sustainability measure, but it can be much more than this. It's it can be any criteria you can imagine, just to gain some more insights on the supplier by data which is provided by another service provider, for example, Bisnode or Integrity Next.
Okay.
So as the second part of our demo session, I would like to present Qualtrics to you, because supply performance management becomes increasingly important. And in order to start the evaluation process, I've sent out the first survey for supplier selection. So what I'm doing now is, or what I've already done is, I've sent out a survey to have a trigger to start sending out the actual survey. So all starts with this user interface. You can now select which suppliers should be evaluated. And if you remember in the first session in the supply performance dashboard, I've taken Mercando. So I will do the same over here. I will start the evaluation and tell the system, okay, there is an evaluation which should be sent out for Mercando with this supplier ID. And the performance evaluation should be done for the period or for the year 2020. So let's enter here the dates accordingly. And in addition to that,
you've got 2010.
Sorry. Yes. Thank you. In addition to the evaluation period, we can also have some additional criteria, for example, the company code, which is especially important for bigger companies, that they want to send out specific questionnaires only to have suppliers evaluated for a dedicated company code. Yeah. So let's take, for example, Copenhagen. So this means that we will now send out an evaluation request for this supplier, this time period, and this name and ID. So let me send out this one. And based on the data I've entered or selected over here, I will now send out the system will send out automatically the actual supply performance survey to a dedicated group, which has been defined before. So the system will do everything automatically. And in the second step now, the appraisers will receive an email with the relevant data, as you can see over here. So this is the email which the appraisers will receive now. You can see my name over here. You can see that this supplier should be evaluated. This is the ID, which I've selected before, the evaluation period, and the company code to be where the supplier should be evaluated for. This mail texts are very easily adaptable and customizable according to your needs. So as you can see over here, I've added our company logo, and there's different ways to adapt styles and fonts. And I can click on this link to have the survey started as an appraiser, and you can send this out to as many appraisers as you want, whatever you prefer. Let me now go into the actual survey to show you how this looks like in Qualtrics. As you can see over here, this is now the survey I've opened from the mail, and you see that all the data is captured again. So there's a nice introduction shown. You can also have customer-specific background, icons, and so on. So this is highly adaptable. And from a UI perspective, I would say very nice to see, and also, of course, visible on mobile devices and really easy to access. And what I'm going to show you now is a survey regarding the supplier performance. And this is a quite long one, but one thing to know is that this can also be reduced. So for example, you can see here, this is concerning wastewater and energy consumption, as well as occupational health and safety. So this is rather regarding environmental aspects. So the person who is responsible for answering this topic is probably not interested in the quality topic. And this is very easy to handle with Qualtrics, because based on the department assigned to the user or the appraiser will only see the areas which are relevant to him based on the department. There are several ways to have questions shown, and I will just fill out some of the fields randomly to show you the capabilities of the system. There's also the way or an opportunity or possibility to add conditional questions. So for example, this one should go out to the compliance department. Does the supplier have a compliance risk? And if yes is stated, you need to explain this in detail. This can also be a mandatory field and can be reported later on very nicely.
The setup of these forms, is that something that Apsolut does?
It can be done by Apsolut, yes.
But can the customer do it themselves too?
Yes, so this is very easy to do. It's basically it's drag and drop, and you can also upload and download specific questions. And yeah, there's a lot of ways to do this, and it's really easy to handle. Most of it is drag and drop. You can also even use Google Translator to transform questions into other languages. So yeah, it's quite self-explaining, I would say.
Okay.
One feature I would like to show you is that you can also, of course, upload attachments, and as it is also the case for other SAP cloud solutions, you can use drag and drop, which is quite a nice feature, I would say, because it can be done so easily. So for example, if I just upload a picture over here, I just do drag and drop, and it's loading automatically.
Yeah.
And yeah, when it comes to configuration, as already mentioned, it's quite self-explaining. And regarding the range of functionalities, this is really, I would say, a new area when it comes to sending out surveys, because Qualtrics is has a very high range of functionalities when it comes to surveys, and I think it's a good approach to use this wide range of functionalities also for supply performance, especially because Qualtrics is now an SAP company. So yeah, this is I would say a good approach to use the system for the performance management.
Okay.
There is also a net promoter score, which can be chosen. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it that you would recommend this to a colleague? And again, the setup is very easy. You can even implement a Google reCAPTCHA via drag and drop to check that you are not a robot. And
I wonder if suppliers actually do that.
Yeah. And yeah, there's even the way possibility to redirect to another page. So as you can see over here, this is directly redirecting to our nice web page. But there is, yeah, as mentioned, several ways to adapt this according to customer specific needs. And the results which have been collected now within this survey can then be either shown in the Qualtrics dashboard, which is also a very nice feature. And it needs to be pointed out that this is really also a very strong functionality of Qualtrics. This dashboard with the possibility to report on tags, for example. But on the other hand, and that was the starting point of our whole session, you can also directly call the results and have them shown in the SAP Analytics Cloud, so in our supply performance dashboard, to have an overall picture. So there's two ways. Use the powerful Qualtrics dashboard, or use the SAC supplier performance dashboard to have a 360-degree view on the supplier.
Great, that's great. And then so you've got the scoring behind the whole Qualtrics dashboard. And the responses are then calculated up and pushed up into the dashboard. And you can see it either in Qualtrics or you can see it in the Apsolut spend performance dashboard, right?
Exactly, yes. Okay. That's what it's about.
Right, perfect. No, that's great. Yeah, and that really does provide us with a lot more detail around the performance of suppliers, and being able to have that all in one place, I think is really useful. I think, Andy, that goes back to the original, the introduction that you had of trying to pull all of that information together and have it in one place, right? I think it must resonate with customers.
Yeah, totally, mate. So yeah, you've seen the power of the dashboard and being able to have all that data at your fingertips. So again, as Gerrit's really kindly shown us, being able to connect other systems as well, not just SAP systems, but a full range of systems to have everything at your fingertips is really powerful, and that's something we've seen our clients really love with the supplier performance dashboard.
Brilliant, thank you both. For anyone who who's interested in hearing more, either put comments below, or contact the team. I'll have their contact information in the description of the video, so you can contact the team if you want to hear more, or of course reach out to me. Gerrit and Andy, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it, and I know that we're going to come back. We've got some more demos to show. I don't know, Gerrit, if that's going to be you or somebody else from the team, but we'll certainly have Apsolut back again to cover 2 or 3 other scenarios that they've built innovations for. So great work, and thanks, Gerrit, because I know it's your birthday, so appreciate you doing the demo for us today.
Thanks a lot. You're welcome.
Great.
Thanks, mate.
All right, guys, thank you very much.